Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a very rainy Tuesday morning. But a very delightful 6 degrees here in British Columbia, southern British Columbia, which would make it 43 in American terms, which is great. A couple of things I wanted to talk about today. The first would be, how dare they use my road? Come on, people. Okay. The first thing I wanted to talk about was measles. I know that a lot of my viewers are in the States, and I know you've got quite a serious thing happening with this measles outbreak, and so I thought maybe I should talk about it, but on the understanding that I'm not a doctor, and nor do I profess to have any medical knowledge. So what I'm about to say comes with a big warning sign on it that says this is just my opinion. So the question is to inoculate or not to inoculate your children. And the argument is, well, if I inoculate my children, there is a chance that they could have some sort of reaction to the vaccine. And that's true. There is a very slight chance, like 1 in a million or something. But here's my question to you. That whilst we all want to protect our children, by not vaccinating our children, we put everybody else's children at risk. And that, to me, is huge. My question is this: do you take your children in your car? Because the chances of your children being in an accident in your car are probably far greater than the chances of them being affected by a vaccine. Do you walk your children across the street? Because there is a chance that they'll get hit by a car. Do you take your children swimming? Because if so, there is a chance that they will drown. And I mean, I could go on about this for a long time, but you know, everything we do in life has a potential risk to it. And what we need to do as responsible people is to weigh those risks against the good. Every time I go in to have an operation, there is a chance I could die from it. I knew that, but each time I've had to go in for an operation, the risks of not doing it are greater than doing it. So I think it's really difficult for me, because I want to say that I would like everybody to have a choice. But my concern is, you know, we had got to the stage where we had basically annihilated measles from the Western world. And now suddenly we haven't. It would be a bit like it has taken my generation, my lifetime, for us to all but eradicate polio. And how did we do it? With vaccines. And if people stop taking the polio vaccine, what are the chances that polio will come back and maim a lot of children? That would be so terrifying to me. Well, probably wouldn't, because it hopefully wouldn't happen in my lifetime, but it surely would be to you who are younger. So, a bit of a serious subject, but one that needs to be discussed. At what point do we say this is not your choice anymore? This is about the national health. In my day, you didn't get to think twice about having a vaccine. It was mandatory. I've got 3 scars on my leg where they did them. So what I find really troubling here is that now those of us who got vaccinated for measles 50 years ago, in my case, probably 65 years ago, I don't know what age I was when I got vaccinated, but probably 66, I don't know, I'm 67 now. I'm probably within the first year of my life. Now do I need to be revaccinated? Because after all these years, do I still have the antibodies? I don't know. And also, is it just about me, or is it about, if we don't do this, other people will get sick? Maybe your child doesn't, but maybe other people's do. I don't know. It's certainly something that needs to be discussed a little more. So I wondered where your views are on this, and I'd certainly be interested on both sides of this. I don't get the math. I mean, I understand there's a lot of scientific data, and I understand that the science says no, the risk is minimal. But then parents are going, yes, but there is some risk. But these same people take their children in a car and take them swimming or whatever. And I'm going, wait. Why is it only the one risk that they care about, not the others? I don't understand that. The other thing I wanted to talk about today was another thing on anxiety. And the reason is that I got a call last night from one of my clients. And he was having an anxiety attack. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about what to do if a friend of yours phones you with an anxiety attack. Because I don't think many people know what to do. The most important thing to do to start with is to seek first to understand. So you need to go, tell me what's going on, and then shut up. Keep really quiet and do lots of yeah, and really let them, even if it takes 15 minutes, just let them talk their way through what is causing the problem. That's the first step. By the way, it's the first step of talking to somebody who's really angry. One of the things I used to do when I was in different sort of business and had a client who was angry, I would just wait them out. I just, push them. What else is wrong? Did anything else happen to upset you? Has anything else happened to upset you? And it's a really good thing to do, even in a relationship or in a friendship or whatever. Just, okay, fine, let's get this all out now. And then the next thing I did was to acknowledge the fear. From my experience, most panic attacks that I have or that my friends have and I'm not talking about the agoraphobia and stuff like that, anxiety attacks. I'm talking about the situational ones. Have to do with overwhelm. That we get into mental overwhelm. We're so scared of what might happen that it becomes mentally overwhelming. And that's what causes the panic attack. Now, I really used to love reading Dr. Wayne Dyer because he had some wonderful things to say about panic not being able to attack you. You know, it doesn't have weapons. It cannot attack you. It's what we do in our brain that attacks us. And I want to tell you something that Wayne Dyer made a lot of sense to me after I sort of got it. And I loved reading his stuff because it did make sense and it helped me a great deal. But what I did with this person who phoned me last night was, after I'd listened a great deal, I then said, I can understand with what you're telling me why you're so scared. All right, so the second step is to empathize. You don't want to be fighting this person. You don't want to tell them, oh, don't be stupid, you know, da 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 da, because you will just send them deeper into a panic, because they already feel stupid. They know they shouldn't be feeling like this. Normal people, unquote, are not feeling like this. So then, what I did was I fed back to this person what I heard them say. And in this case, it was where the overwhelm was coming from. There's a little kid in a car here. He's actually not that little, probably 7 or 8. He's waving at everybody. So I fed back exactly what I heard him say, that his panic attack was being caused by. And I did that by listening really carefully on the first section. But I checked it out and I said, did I understand you correctly that this, and this is what's causing your stress? And then it was really interesting because what I'm listening for is a change in voice tone. You will notice when somebody's having an anxiety attack of any sort, you know, that the talk is very high-pitched and very fast. And if you keep in a really understanding and empathizing voice tone, and don't fight them, just work really hard to understand, you will find that after a little while, their voice tone starts to change. And when their voice tone starts to change, it drops and slows, you will know that they are basically out of panic. They are now really capable of listening. So I will do this, let me see if I understand this correctly thing, until I hear the change in the voice tone. And I did last night. I heard a definite change in the voice tone. And then I said, okay, let's look at some options. Right? I'm not going to tell the person what to do, because nobody likes to be told what to do, but people do like to be given options. One of the things I asked was, if I were telling you this story, would you be recommending to me to go and see my doctor? Because to me, this person was really in a very high state of overwhelm. But their choice. I can't tell them that's what they have to do. So one of the other choices I gave was, could they see a way where they could balance their life a little better? In other words, that from this point onwards, on this particular project that they were working on, that they were overwhelming on, that they could spend so many hours a day studying, at least half an hour a day getting some fresh air or some exercise, and maybe at least once a week going and getting maybe some massage therapy or doing some yoga or something else to relax the brain. This person is in university and, definitely about to go into some serious exams that could affect their life. They're also 3 years into a 4-year program, so they are at a stage where this is getting really serious to them, and they're struggling. So your tendency is to study, but nothing stays in when you're in this state, because you're in panic. You're not relaxed. And I also asked for some information about what happens if you miss this particular segment. When I say miss it, if you don't pass it, what happens? You can't be the first person that have reached this far and then had this level of stress. Is there a way to redo, catch up, whatever? My sense is there has to be something, because somebody could get really ill in the middle of it and they can't damn you for life. So there must be a way of doing it. And the amazing thing was that by the time I'd finished asking questions, which I did, and the questions were all possible options of what they could do, this person relaxed substantially. And at one point even laughed. And as soon as I heard the laughter, then I knew, okay, fine, I've done my job. If they're capable of laughing, then they're able to look outside themselves and look back in again. And it looked a little it was amusing to them. But the one thing that came up, and I wondered, with those of you with anxiety issues, whether you could give me, I know a lot of my viewers talk about that, but I was wondering whether you could give me some feedback, because one of the issues that I queried is part of your problem that you feel your fellow students are laughing at you, be it silently, because you're stressing out? Was there a level of embarrassment attached to this? And I wondered whether that is true of anybody else that suffers from anxiety. Is some of that anxiety linked to, I'm making a fool of myself. I feel stupid. I feel people are judging me. Because I said to him, if that is true, of you, then you know you need to just get to the stage where you go, rats, whatever word you want to use. What they think of me is none of my business. I mean, I just need to own up the fact that I am a bit stressed at the moment. I could do with some support, and running away from it is not going to fix it. Running away from it could cause you to, completely lose 3 years of studying. Wow. But I also said, if you really think this is too much for you, go and see your doctor and go and find out what level, because they can tell what level you're at. And then the last thing I said was, try, if you can, to be a little more patient with yourself. And by the way, if you need to call me in the middle of the night, you go right ahead. I find that people relax a lot if they know they've got somebody they can call. I didn't get a call in the middle of the night, so let's hope that he is doing a little better today. I will, of course, find a way to check up and make sure he's okay. This is DearMamaSal saying, I hope that's given you some room for thought and maybe a way to help a friend. Bye-bye for now.